All right. Welcome back to the Forest Brothers podcast. It's your boy Mutsa Chris Don back in the cut, joined by my two brothers, Nkosi and Samson. What's good, brothers? Listener, this episode we'll be talking about the Chelsea versus Arsenal game that we just watched today. A very blockbuster game, very physical. The game ended 1-1. We had two headed goals, one from Trevor Chalobah from a set piece, and one from Mikel Merino, from open play. So quite interesting given the nature of the goals and given the teams, because Arsenal doesn't usually score open play goals, and uh Chelsea beat Arsenal in their own game. So a very fitting 1-1. It did have a red card. Moises Caicedo did get a red card in the 38th minute. He did try to convince the world that he was injured too, but he was not touched anywhere on his body. We saw him touch his ankle, touch his shin, touches thigh, and he couldn't convince anybody that he was particularly hurt in that situation. Anyway, it's a blessing because we have a Chelsea fan and an Arsenal fan here. Arsenal is Sangi and of course is Chelsea, so I probably won't have too much to add to the source. But let me start with Nkosi's interpretation of the game, because we have talked a lot about Chelsea's discipline a lot this season, because Chelsea there was a point there where you guys were getting a red card pretty much almost every week. So, another one today. I don't know if it was crucial. If Caicedo had stayed on the pitch, would they have won? Would you guys have won the game? I'm not sure. But anyway, I'll hand it over to you, Nkosi, in terms of your interpretations of the game, your thoughts about the game, and Caicedo's red card, and if that affected the game too negatively, or you feel like a 1-1 is probably where it was going to end up anyway.
Uh, Thanks, Mr. Mutsam. Very interesting game today. I think we learned a lot about both teams today. I think this game, as much as it went in as the title not title decider, but like the two title contenders, as people like to call them. I don't like to call them that. I just like to call it that two teams just facing off on a Sunday afternoon. It was a very interesting game in the sense that it was one where I feel like Chelsea were up for it. I don't know if that surprised Arsenal, in a sense, because the way Chelsea approached the game, they took the game to Arsenal. They pressed them. I think maybe there were some aspects that Arteta didn't expect, especially with the double right back of Gusto and Reece James on who's going to play right back, who's going to play midfield. I think maybe he kind of knew that Reece James was going to sort of play in midfield, but I didn't think he anticipated the kind of game that Reece James was going to have today, because man was everywhere. Like Reece James covered every single blade of grass, even down to 10 men. Like he was the one carrying the team going forward. I think that's the power of having a leader in the team, like you're a captain. Like even in the difficult times, like he stands up and he's counted. So for me, like when I look at the game and look at the overall spectrum, I think chances were there. I think Arsenal did have less chances, interestingly enough, than Chelsea. I think Chelsea did have chances, especially in the first half, like when they'd regained possession. I think João Pedro, I think there were two chances that honestly, like, shoot or do something. Like I think Rice blocked the other one, and the other one he decided to pass it outside. So to me, that was very surprising. So for all in all, like I think when you look at the balance of play, the red card did change the game. When I look at it, the red card, because that's what everyone's talking about. To me personally, that one was a red card, like without a shadow of a doubt, it was a red card. Um, it was reckless. Like, the thing is that my biggest thing with it is he's in the middle of the park. He's not going anywhere. Secondly, it's Merino. It's not like you're tackling like an important player they have. So that's the one thing that I had with it. But all in all, I think if it hadn't been gone down to we hadn't gone down to 10 men, I think we would have had a chance maybe to win it, maybe in the second half if we were clinical, because some of the chances that we were getting, like even with 10 men, were very surprising. Like Pedro Neto, like as I always mentioned, he'll run with the ball and then zero end product. Gusto, he'll get into the final third, he won't be able to cross. Why do I mention these things? I mention these things.
Estevao, don't forget Estevao. Estevao was the same today. That's why he was
What
hooked up
do
at
you
halftime.
no? the moment, well, this doesn't surprise me. Like Esteval can't do anything. Like for the most part, like even in the United game when Sanchez got sent off, the first person he took off was Esteval. So I wasn't surprised that he took him off.
But he was also doing the same thing that Neto was doing. Like he would run with the ball and he would,
But at
in
least
the final third,
he was testing the keeper. Like
my
he
guy,
got a
none of
shot
his
off.
shots were on target.
The one that went over, that one, yes, I do agree. Then the second one, Rice blocked it. Don't you forgot that one?
But it wasn't on target. But
No,
I'm
it was
just
on
saying
target.
though,
So wait,
like
why is Rice blocking shots that are not on target?
no, he's gonna block a shot. But I'm just saying, like none of his shots actually were saved by Sanchez, right?
What do you mean saved by
Right.
Sanchez? By
Like
Raya?
Raya, sorry. Raya didn't actually have to save any of Esteval's shots. Or Esteval didn't make any pass that was like goal threat goal threatening. All his decision
He
making today was
was
pretty
the
poor.
outlet. He was the outlet in the first half. We didn't have a left hand side in the first half. If you watch the game, he was the outlet. The overload we had with him, Gusto, and James. Arsenal, like Calafiori even got booked and he got hooked.
I'm
Did you
saying
forget
you're
that part?
judging you're calling out Neto and you're calling out Pedro. I'm saying in the same breath you also be calling out Esteval because the same things you're criticizing for Esteval was kind of doing the same thing today.
I can't criticize a player that I can't. I only saw 45 minutes of versus a player I saw 90 minutes of. Where I know if Esteval is in those goal scoring opportunities, he'll do better. Like apart from that one chance he hit over, Pedro Neto ran from the length of the Chelsea box from the second half. They threw the ball out to him. He ran the length of the field. He took on Hincapie, went cut inside. And when he's supposed to pass, I think it was even a 4v3 on in Chelsea's favor. And then he decided to think he can hit top bins and he hit it into the grandstand.
Yeah, and I'm not
And that wasn't
supporting
the
that.
only one. And it wasn't the only one. There were multiple occasions. Muta, do you understand the gravitas of when you're playing a game and you're now down to 10 men? How precious it is when you are on the counter and you're there wasting chances.
No, I'm with you. I'm not saying had a great game. I'm not saying that. He deserves all the criticisms. I'm saying Esteval deserves somewhat similar criticism today because that 45 minutes, even if Caicedo didn't get a red card, I still think Esteval was having a pretty bad game today. Personally.
Give me a few sample sizes because when I was watching the game, our right hand side was more lively than our left hand side.
No, it was. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying that.
And who was playing on the right hand side? Was playing on the left hand side?
I'm just saying final product from Esteval was poor. That's all I'm saying.
What final product? Like you can't give me even a sample example of this is what was happening and Esteval
I
was
told you
poor.
those two goals, those two shots that he took. One of the ones that he skied. Also, I'm sure
There
that
was a
ball is still
tackle
coming
there.
down.
There was a tackle there. Like, of course he's gonna hit it over because that's how Declan Rice is tackling. Like,
okay, you know what? Okay, you know what? Maybe I'm biased. And maybe Nkosia Samson, did Esteval, was he having a decent game, or do you also feel like he deserves some criticism today? Maybe you can be the bridge. I don't know. Maybe you saw something different.
I thought it was like an average game. I didn't think he was having. I don't think he had the game he had against Barcelona. I think
yeah.
if Esteval was a better player, I think Chelsea would have probably scored today. But I think they put a lot of faith in a young man who's probably not ready for it. Because, like Kosi mentioned, in the first half, Chelsea's plan was clear to get the ball to the right hand side no matter what. They weren't even looking at the left hand side because I'm assuming they just thought Timber was, versus Pedro Neto, that's not viable. But they weren't trying or to do anything on the left. And Esteval had most of the workload on his shoulders. And when he tried, and you could see the guy is clearly talented, but he just didn't. I didn't see anything from him where I was like, wow, he really did something there. Because even, Chris spoke about the yellow card Calafiori got. I don't think Calafiori was taken off because he was having a bad game. I think it was taken off because Arteta wanted to overload the middle because Miles Lewis-Skelly plays differently. Calafiori overlaps, Miles Lewis-Skelly inverts and pushes forward with 10 men. That kind of just seemed like what Arteta was trying to do. So, yeah, all in all, I don't think the boy had his brightest moments today. But he's 18, so you can't judge him too harshly.
Now I still live on the fence that he didn't have he had like when you grade someone like middle of the road, you didn't do anything spectacular, you didn't do anything terrible. That was his game today.
So
But
5 out of 10.
yeah, 5 out of 10. But my thing is, if they kept him on in that second half, I think he would have done far more than what Pedro Neto did. Because Pedro Neto in the second half, like he was just a workhorse. Like he was just running. Like, but zero end product. And that's my issue. Like, you've been here for quite a while, for 2 years, still no end product. You get to these good opportunities. Where is the end product? So that's what I saw. For me personally, like when I look at the game, I kind of like looked at a draw and I was like, fine, if it ends in a draw pre-game, like I was like, okay, fine, that's a decent result. The players have grown in that regard. But when I watched the game and I followed closely and how we were playing, I think without the red card, we possibly could have won it. Like in terms of like maybe, I'm like, I don't think we want to beat Austin like 3-4-0, like probably like a 2-1. Like I think that would have been a fair result. Like that's just my take because I think with the balance we had with Reese, Caicedo at the time, and Enzo, like were able to actually get out to like the ball out to the wingers, and then they were able to take on their man 1-on-1. And Arsenal today, out of all games, I saw them take a lot of yellow cards for like a lot of counter attacks. I don't know if that's the one thing they fear the most, because I think Mosquera took one for a counter, and I think two others also took one for a counter. I think Lewis Kelly also took one for taking down Reece James because it was going to be a counter. But all in all, I think fair results. 1-1 with 10 men. Arsenal. Few questions need to be asked, like as the potential title winners. Like, are these the games that you look back on and say we dropped points there, or is it a point earned? Because you did play against 10 men for 62 minutes. So that should be concerning. But as much as I like to also criticize, I should also give credit. Today, I'm still not a big fan of his. Robert Sanchez, he kept us in the game at points. I think he made the Martinelli save, and then he also made the Saka save, and he claimed all the Arsenal cross corners because we know them at their corner, these corner kick merchants. So all in all, I think that was my take on the game, and we move. We're still sitting in the top four, and we're happy with that.
One thing I want to say before we're heading over to Samson is that, this throughout the week, I was hearing chat about, if Arsenal beats Chelsea today, they're going to be 7 points clear. They're just going to be 7 points clear of Man City. And it was already sounding like, it's a done deal. I was reading articles saying at this point, it'll be Arsenal's to lose. And I'm like, 7 point deficit is really not that much. Because now when I look at it, it's only 5 points, right? That's 2 games. That's 2 games where Arsenal loses, Man City wins, and Man City is now ahead of Arsenal. Chelsea is also at 24, 6 points behind Arsenal. So yeah, so it's not even like Arsenal is way ahead of the teams below them, but the conversations that I was hearing on the timeline and even like official articles, it was as if it's pretty much clear for Arsenal. So I don't want to. It's just been surprising to me to see that they're not as far away as people think they are. So I just wanted to just put it out there, like, yo, guys, it's fine. If this is the case, maybe it's like 7, 8 points in Feb. Okay, sure, maybe there's the conversations can start, but I think it's too soon, man. It's too soon. Anyway, over to you, Samson.
Well, Arsenal fans have been saying that for about a month, Muta. Because about a month ago, that is what Jamie Carragher said on his Monday night whatever show. It's Arsenal's to lose. Those are the famous words. So, I mean, I think people just like talking about Arsenal. So whenever there's an angle out there, to try and say something, do something, they will be said. Because at the end of the day, it is just November. So in the grand scheme of things, being 5 points clear doesn't mean much if you can't, like you said, if you can't be here in March. Now moving on to the game, to answer Nkosi's question, I do think as Arsenal, you look at this as a point earned. And I say that because this was a pretty tough week, all things considered. North London derby, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, um, and
10
on
men.
paper, yeah, 10 men, but we lost our centre back right before the game. We lost Saliba in training. Is there? No one has mentioned anything about this. So it's like, and that's also one thing, because you mentioned the fouls, the tactical fouls. That's where that comes from. Nerves. People, and I was something I was seeing a lot in the first half. Basically, everyone playing in the middle in that spine for Arsenal was not comfortable at all, because the two men at the back are not comfortable, and you saw that spread just moving forward. Every ball that landed in the middle, people are going in full force because they don't know if they can trust these two guys. They knew. They haven't. I think this is the third. Between them, they had 3 total starts the whole season. I don't even know if majority of the team has played with them. I think they've played with Nkapia once from the start and with Mosquera twice from the start in total. So that's what I was seeing. I was seeing a lot of nerves, a lot of rash challenges. And you can see that in the stats. At the end of the game, Chelsea had 12 fouls, Arsenal had 13. And by the way, I just want to mention this as well. I know you guys got the red card, so this is going to sound a bit crazy, but I thought Anthony Taylor was a bit liberal with those Arsenal yellow cards there. I thought he was dishing them a little too quickly, because, man, those Chelsea players, man. I mean, damn. The fouls I was seeing every two. I mean, Caicedo, before he got sent off, I think he had 3 fouls on Eze. Actually, 2 on Eze and 1 on Merino, where he just cleaned them out, and the referee just looked away. Correa, on a yellow card, dragged down Saka twice. I was like, my God, my word, is this all you guys practice? Just judo and, and training? But yeah, I thought it was a very nervy game, and I thought you were seeing an Arsenal team that is nervous, yes, but also just fatigued from the week, coming up against a very aggressive Chelsea team. Yeah, on a different day, Chelsea could have probably won that game, because I think Chelsea were definitely threatening on the counter. But yeah, that's why I think at the end of the day, you take the point. You look at all the players coming back from injury. I mean, we got to see Modric come back. He already came back in the Bayern game, but we saw him again today. We saw Gyökeres today at the end. We saw Odegaard again today. If all those guys start, is it a different game? Probably. If Saliba doesn't go down before the game starts, is that a different game? Probably. So yeah, all in all, if you just concede 1 goal and you draw away from home, I think you take it and you just move on. In the grand scheme of things, I think we're the favorites. Whether we'll be there at the end, I mean, I think I mentioned this in a previous pod. I think we're the only ones who can beat us right now. In terms of like, we are our own competition for the title. In terms of like, if we just keep everyone fit and we just do our jobs, I think we'll be fine, because we have the squad to cope and everything. But at the same time, if we have injuries on injuries on injuries, and we have to put out 18-year-olds, then you know it's up to the football gods or what happens then. But I still think it's with the favorites. And also, by the way, if Chelsea are the challengers, I know we'll discuss if the challengers or not. They've just lost their best player for 3 games, so I'm feeling pretty confident after that as well. So I think I'll take the point. I'll take the point, because we've weakened our rivals as well. So yeah.
One of the
Oh,
interesting things I heard today when I was reading the tweets, it was someone was like, watching Mosquera play football is like watching your dog drive your car. even though your dog is driving the car really well, it's still a dog at the end of the day. That killed me, man. I was like, damn.
I'm telling you, it's that is exactly the issue with replacing Saliba, because Saliba makes it look effortless, man. Everything he does, even on the ball, passing it. There were some instances Mosquera would just like fizz it to Timber. If it was Saliba, he would have dribbled 3 guys and passed it. Like, imagine seeing that and then seeing this guy just hammer the ball to you. Like, it changes something in your head. So I totally get it.
I start to question the championship mentality here because, again, if you lose a CB at training, which a lot of teams do sometimes, it happens where you lose your best player right before the game starts. It happened with Chelsea with Palmer. Chelsea didn't have Palmer today either. So the same can be said. The same can be said for, I said that like a Zimbabwean. Sorry. The same can be said for for Chelsea with the players that they were missing. So I start to wonder then, like, okay, Saliba goes down, and then everybody gets shaky. Everybody now suddenly gets nervous, Everybody now suddenly like can't hold it together, Like it's just, I don't know. That's why I mean, like, calling Arsenal favorites at this point could be a bit premature because, again, we've seen Man City make up points with less, with even a bigger deficit than what there is right now. So, we're just 5 points at the end of the day.
I mean,
I don't know.
To be fair, Saliba versus Palmer isn't really a fair comparison, man. This guy hasn't played in over a month. I mean, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, they've been on Chelsea have won 9 of 11 without Palmer. We just lost Saliba yesterday. I mean, come on, man. These 2 center backs have never played together before in life. I mean, it's a little different. I mean, let's be serious.
But winning a title is also about a squad rather than 11 players. So why was all this money being spent over the summer if there won't be a time when you don't trust them in these big games? Because you signed them to play them. You didn't sign them just for them to warm the bench there or to clean Saliba and Gabriel's boots because they play every week. Like, you signed them to play. So
And again, okay, I'll bring it back to the conversation. Arsenal drew, just by the way, they drew a game, and neither of the centre backs are directly at fault for the draw. Y'all are talking like they got sent off or something. Like, they were shaky, yes, but like they drew. It's a point away from home against a team that was second to start. Like, it's fine. It's not. You guys are talking like,
why is the aspect of the 10 men not being discussed and the duration of the game where the opposition team had 10 men? I thought we were going to be hanging on there in that second half. And interestingly enough, we actually weren't hanging on that much. Like, even when they brought on Garnacho, I was like, I think he's actually believing that he can go for it. And he didn't even because like in my mind, I thought, okay, we're down to 10 men. He's going to probably take out a winger and then, or a striker, and then put in Andre Santos, and then we go with a double pivot. But he didn't do that. But then Arsenal, for some odd reason, they just, I think there was a point in time where Arsenal, in all honesty, like, Arsenal forgot that they were playing against 10 men. Because like some of the way they were playing, like the pass side to side, the slow passing side to side, to me was very surprising. It reminded me of that time when they played Liverpool and they were just playing Zubimendi to Rice back to Zubimendi to Eze. It was just like a triangle in front of Chelsea, and they were not hurting Chelsea at any point. It got a bit better when like Odegaard came on because he was now stretching the game on the left-hand side and creating those overloads. So now that's where Arsenal were now. And that's even the goal came from. Where now those overloads were there because that they were using their numerical advantage because Chelsea players were being pulled out of position. Whereas before that, it was literally side to side. I think that's why they even hooked Zubimendi, because they were like, my guy, he's just doing side to side for the sake of doing side to side.
I mean, it was also just fatigue. because Eze was also hooked for Gyökeres. Like I said, this is why I look at it as a point gained, because this is the third tough fixture at the end of 7 days when you've played two other big games in the span of 7 days. It's not like you're playing some small teams. Like, these are games you had to be up for, and that meant something. Two derbies and Bayern at home. Like, these are not small games. You went through those games and you performed pretty well. And I think, yeah, sure, they ran out of gas a little bit, but I thought they were fine the last 20 minutes. I thought they were trying to get that second goal, but it just didn't come. Because I think even in the last few moments, Gyökeres had a pretty good chance of scoring, but like Timber went for the header instead. And it was one of those where, like, what's the right back doing there? Like, if he wasn't there, Gyökeres probably would have had an open header, and he probably scored. So I don't know. The way I see it is just, it happens. Like, it's not ideal. I think definitely the way we approached the game in the first half brought in a lot of shakiness, because I think that's where the goal even comes from. Like, the fact that even that corner happens, it's that inability to deal with Chelsea's long balls and just deal with those counters effectively. Because again, if you get yellow cards in the first half, when someone is making counters in the second half, you can't just drag them down then, right? Or you have to allow someone else to drag them down instead of like actually defending and marshalling them into an area of the pitch where they can't do anything. So I think that's just what it is. And at the end of the day, you just can't find that last goal. But it happens, and I'm okay if this happened last week. Like, let's say we played Chelsea at the beginning of this 3-game run, I'd be more concerned. Since it's coming at the end, I'm not as concerned. I know we're playing 10 men, but it is okay. I can see, I can understand why it ended up this way. If we'd lost, my head would be gone. But I can accept the draw.
I have a question for you, Samson. Is Saka finished? Is it
No,
cooked?
no.
He's not finished?
Why is that a question? Okay,
Because
let me
Saka-
give you a question. Did Cucurella have a good game?
Cucurella, I don't think Cucurella has a good game. I'm not a Cucurella fan.
Because did Cucurella have a good game?
It was okay. Nothing special.
Did any of that have anything to do with the guy he was coming up against? Or did he just suck because he naturally sucks? Like, I want to know, because people always do this with Saka. When he doesn't get a goal or assist, oh, he was locked down. When he does get a goal or assist, is Saka washed? I don't know. Last season he was scoring hat tricks and getting 3 assists. I don't know if one is good enough. Like, I feel
I'm
like the
just saying,
standards are too high.
Nah. No, well, you guys set the standards. You guys say he's your star boy. We're not seeing the star shining lately, because then ultimately you're playing at 10 men. You're playing against 10 men. Saka, 2 seasons ago, these are the games where he's putting pressure. He's out there doing the thing, taking people on, doing the damn thing, right? Now he's getting dragged down by the likes of Cucurella. I thought Saka was a strong guy. How are you getting dragged down by Cucurella is my question.
Well, so that's like asking Merino, why did you get stomped by Caicedo? I thought you were a strong guy. I mean, if you get dragged down, you get dragged down.
Nah, man. I'm just saying Saka is obviously stronger than Cucurella. Like, some of the things that Samson, I'm just saying though, like, Saka this season alone, he's not the same Saka that we've known, man. Like, let's just be honest. Maybe we can chalk it up to just got engaged. Congratulations to you, by the way, Saka. Maybe you celebrated a bit too hard, the engagement. Maybe that's why it didn't shine too much today. But I'm just saying, man, it's been a pattern. Clearly, I think Dalman deserves a chance.
Okay. What was your question? Is he washed? Was that your question?
I'm saying, is he finished? Yes. Is he getting washed? Are we now seeing the decline of Bukayo Saka?
Okay, no, I don't think we're seeing the decline. I don't know, like, you gotta give him credit. He's a good player. He was the leader today. He actually did get the assist. Just FYI, he did get the assist. But there were instances where, like, he was hitting the ball, like some of the shots he took, they did leave a lot to be desired. So it was a I'd say it was an okay game for him. In terms of being washed, I don't think he's washed. Like,
When was the last time we saw Saka have a masterpiece of a performance? Like, when was the last time? When was the last game we saw Saka really shine? Like, okay, this is a Saka show. Saka really came out here and he's shining. Like, when was the last time we saw something like that?
I mean, he's had a few of those this season, but the issue is we have more attacking talent, so he's not necessarily ending up with the goals and assists. He's doing his thing here, and it's creating opportunities for these guys here, but he doesn't necessarily end up on the stat sheet. So people are like, oh, he's washed. Meanwhile, he just destroyed that other fullback and created so much space for the other guys. I think there's nothing wrong with going from being the guy everyone relies on a bad team to being a very impactful player on an elite team. And I think that's just what's happening because his teammates have improved. He has a striker who's scoring a bit more, and even his replacements are scoring a bit more. He has midfielders who are scoring a bit more. He has an opposing wing on the other side who's scoring a bit more regularly. Like the center backs are chipping in. Like it's not just him every game, every day, every game. There are even some games where he gets taken off and he can rest.
Or
I
is
have
that
no issues
is that
with
for rest or is that for other reasons?
it is for rest.
Mm.
If you because it's actually a pattern that's been developing with Arteta this season. Most players, if the game is won, just depending on who they are and how many games they play, because Saka, if he's fit, he plays. But based on that fact, he plays when he's fit. If the game is won, he comes off. And that's just a general rule that Arteta's been doing. He's also done it with Zubimendi a few times. He's done it with Timber, I believe, a few times. And I think Trossard as well. So yeah, he will get sub this year because there's replacements and Arteta can rotate. And obviously the injury from last season is still on Arteta's mind, so we'd have to wrap him up in the wall whenever we can.
Because I mean, what I will say is Foden banged 2 goals this weekend.
Let me ask you, what did Foden do midweek?
I'm just trolling, man.
No. You
It's
brought
okay.
him
It's
up.
okay. It's okay.
What's he doing midweek?
Hey, listen. I'm just saying, my boy banged 2 goals this weekend. I didn't see Saka on the stat sheets. Just an assist. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Anyway. Just for ballads, I just had to talk about my boy Foden, man. Fodenino, man. He had a good weekend. Okay, cool. I mean, we'll see what happens with Arsenal and Chelsea, obviously, to see like what happens next. Because fixture wise, I believe Arsenal is playing Brentford on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, Brentford have been doing pretty well in the Premier League. They have a pretty good base. They have their boy Thiago.
He's injured.
Is he? Oh, he got injured.
He got injured today.
I'm
I'm not sure if he'll be back for that game, but yeah, he didn't finish the last game.
Interesting. That's an interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, cool. So, anyway, but Brentford, not the easiest place to go. So we'll see what happens there. Like if Arsenal, it's a pretty short turnaround. After such a physical game with Chelsea today, going to play Brentford on Wednesday is not going to be easy. So yeah, I'll be very curious to see what happens there. And then Chelsea, we see them play Leeds as well on Wednesday at 3. So I don't know how. Yeah, that's also a tough place. That's a tough place to be. Leeds is they did give Man City a run for their money.
I mean,
so.
I'm low key trolling though because I think Man City were given a run from their money because they're Man City. In all honesty, I think if Chelsea played the way they did today, they should probably win that game.
we just take it one game at a time. We don't look at where the stadium is or any of those things. We do have, alongside Arsenal, the best away record in the league this year. I think Spurs are actually third on that list. So just take it one game at a time. If it's away, it's away. We go and we deploy our boys down the field and we see what we come out with. So I think our record speaks for itself. Hopefully this Wednesday that record will continue. So we'll see how it goes.
And by the way, since you brought up alongside Arsenal, Chelsea also have one of the best set piece records in the league because Arsenal have scored the most of 12. Chelsea, with today's goal, have scored 10. So yeah, they'll be a very dangerous proposition, those centre backs there at Leeds.
Yeah. What I will say though is that I am happy that we got to watch an entertaining game. The Chelsea Arsenal game was actually pretty entertaining. It wasn't like these two guys are just trying to do tactics, and I think the red cards definitely changed. I mean, even before the red card, things were pretty like explosive. So I'm just happy that we at least got a good showing from the two teams, given the fact that I don't know if Arsenal is playing a bit more conservatively, but as you said, Saliba was not there. Maybe the team was feeling shaky, and then all this other stuff. But a good game to watch. A 1-1 was fair. I wasn't too mad at that. It still means that Spurs could win the league, but it was a fair result. It was a fair result, so I can't be too mad at it.
We're gonna bring Frank to the table soon, so don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Yeah, we don't need to do that. You know what? I think that's it on the Chelsea Arsenal game. I don't know if there's anything left in terms of that game itself. I think we've pretty much covered everything. I'm glad Chalobah is, stepping up, taking the leadership role when it comes to defense and all that good stuff. I think cutting his hair maybe did have an influence. So who knows?
I've
But
been seeing chatter about that online as well. They also saying that it's a serious trim he has now. The other one was very unserious. This is a serious one.
no, he even looks more serious. He actually
Yeah.
looks more like, yeah, like those locks there that he had. Hey man. So we'll have to see it. We'll have to see it. And I think both Arteta and Maresca are pretty much happy with the 1-1. I think so. You know what? Yeah, sometimes you need these physical games. And I guess this is where we're going to see what champions are made of because, there'll be a lot more of these as the season progresses. There's a lot more games coming, international break. We also have AFCON. That's going to impact some of these players. I don't know how many African players are actually on the Arsenal squad. So maybe that's what's going to save you guys. 0 African players. That says a lot about Arsenal. That says a lot about you guys. Anyway, it's just, yeah. So we'll see what happens then. Anything else about this game, gentlemen, before we close out?
Shout out to my centre back, Wesley Fofana, the last two games, Barca and Arsenal. I think he's starting to show why I've been raving about him for all these years. I think today he showed that why we need him fit and at 100%. That guy is a colossal centre back. He just needs, Fine Trevor's a good partner to him, but like he needs like a proper like a lights out centre back with that alongside Wesley. I think we can definitely grow from the little horse to the actual big horse and be in this title race.
I'm not gonna actually praise any Arsenal players today, but I'm gonna do something from left field. I'm gonna praise a Spurs player. I did catch the Spurs game, and I want to say shout out to Mr. Van de Ven. That is an elite defender right there. It's a shame he plays for Spurs because that man is. If he had a better center back partner and better teammates, I think he would thrive because the talent is all there. Like the last ditch tackles, the headers he wins, the passing, he even takes shots sometimes. Just he's perfect. But he's playing with farmers. That's the problem. His wing backs can't defend. His DMs don't protect him, and his partner doesn't know where to stand. So I feel for the boy. He has to do a lot of running every game, but yeah, he's very good. I hope
it also doesn't help that we're Vicario in the sticks, and I mean we've all seen what Vicario did. We'll talk about the Spurs games, but the one thing that I did see is like when Vicario was out of goal and our our goalpost is exposed. I don't know why no Spurs players were like, you know what, let me go to the line just in case. Be the last line of defense. No thought crossed their mind. Like not one person was like, let me just go stand.
They all thought you would clear it outside. The entire sequence, the ball stayed in play.
No, I did.
That was the shocking thing. Like I think they'll expect him to run back after he clears it, but he never cleared it. So feel for him.
Yeah. No, I mean Van de Ven, Yeah, it's tough. Without Romero, we'll fall apart, man. You know, Romero is the person that really does hold us together. So, hey, man, don't worry though. I think he'll be back next game. So we'll see what happens next. But anyway, listener, with that, thank you so much, and we will catch you on the next episode. Peace out.